Hello. Hello, everybody. This lighting is like not better. I thought it would be better, but it's not better. 20 seconds in, nobody's watching. Hello, person. How are you? Hello there. Welcome to my surprise live stream / Q&A because I felt like it. How are you tonight? Thank you for the like. I don't know, like there. I guess that's a good way to put my camera. Hi, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me? If you can, if you could say hi, that would be great. I know that a lot of people in the autism community are, they don't like to talk in the chat, which is totally fine. I get it. You can creep all you want. Hi, Holly. How are you? I'm so happy you got the notification. I made a little wine cocktail in my porch coffee mug, and I'm ready to go. It's a Wednesday night. Let's see how many people we could get to hang out with us. What are you up to this evening? Hi, Michael. How are you? Nice to see you. How's everybody doing? I hope that this is a comfortable place for everyone to hang out and chat and say hi. I know that commenting on YouTube stuff can be scary. I used to not subscribe to anybody. There's a secret that all three of you can know. And I still don't have notifications on for everybody because I'm a little scared it'd be too overwhelming. But I do check YouTube like several times a day. But now I do subscribe to people because I understand how important it is. And also I see people's videos more. Are you like that too? Do you do notifications and stuff? I know I always ask people to like ring the bell, share. But also I'm an autistic person too, so I get it if you don't do that. 4 people, 5 people, but only 1 like. Can we get to 5 likes? Unique Amazing Stripes. I would love to hear more about your name. That sounds really cool. Jenna, hi Jenna. Thank you for always supporting me. You're so sweet. I hopped on to hang out, Jenna. How are you doing? What do you want to talk about? Please hit the like if you have a second. If you're signed in. I guess you can watch it if you're not signed in, right? Holly, how are you doing? Did you tell me that you recently got an autism diagnosis? Hello, 8 people. How are you? Look at my hair. What a mess. And supposedly I'm supposed to do this on StreamYard? ? But I'm just doing it on YouTube. So what are you guys up to tonight? Just scrolling the internet? It's 7 o'clock in California. A new kitty? You got adopted by a new cat? Oh, what do they call it? Like, the cat selection process. I have been thinking recently that I would love for more cats to select us. So we have the 2 cats that we still have. They're outside cats, but I love them. Love them. And I've been thinking recently, like, why can't we get more? Why can't more show up? But we did get the cats fixed, so it won't be because of us. Unique Amazing Stripe says that she or he has EDS. So I am a unique zebra. We are all different, and that is what makes us unique. That's what makes us amazing. I love that. A lot of people who are on the autism spectrum also have the comorbidity of EDS. Many of us are hypermobile anyway. Holly, I'm so glad that you were able to get your diagnosis. How are you feeling about that? That's a big change. When I realized I was autistic, I cried a lot. When I got diagnosed, I went from like laughing and crying. Hey, we've got 9 people here, so make sure to talk to me so I don't feel stupid. And also, if you could click the like, that would be awesome too. Maybe I should like text some of my YouTube friends, let them know. Let's see. Okay, there's one. I sent one out. So, yeah, I was just a little, I won't say lonely, I guess. I just felt like hanging out with you guys, so I thought I would hop on. We have 10 people and 5 likes. Thank you so much. Welcome, 11th person. How are you? Unique, amazing stripes. I think you might mean that being neurodiverse is one of the many comorbidities. It comes up in your support group. That would make sense if that's what you meant. Hi, Trina. How are you? How's the hair dye going? Can you see all my gray? So I have hey, 14 people. If you can click the like, that'd be so nice. Trina, I've been thinking about. I know this might shock everybody, but I've been thinking about almost gone. Well, yeah, me too. I've been thinking about going back to brown. I know, pretty crazy. Don't let my mother hear that I said that because she will be overly excited. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy you're here, Unique Amazing Stripes. Nisi is a really great person. She's very sweet, very supportive. She's almost monetized, so if you're interested in her videos, go and watch a bunch of them. Hi, Kling. Is that Kling as in like Klingon? I'm glad you're here too. I am in Pacific time. I have lived in almost all of the time zones in America. I think Arizona is on a different time zone, isn't it? Not sure. Michael asks, what helps you when you're having a high anxiety day? Well, you just reminded me that I forgot to take my meds today, so thank you. Definitely making sure I take my medication. Hey, it's Taylor from Mom on the Spectrum. I just texted her and she came. She came a running because this is the top quality on the internet. I made myself a wine cocktail, Taylor, in my porch coffee mug. If you guys haven't subscribed to Taylor, but of course you have because she has 10 times more subscribers than me. But if you haven't, for some strange reason, if you don't know Taylor from Mom on the Spectrum, go and subscribe to her. She's an amazing resource. She's way more focused on support within the autism community than I am. I'm pretty focused on it, but she has programs and support groups and everything. She's amazing. And she's a super nice friend. And I'm glad that I met her. How do I manage a high anxiety day? I would say self-awareness is very important. So make sure that you have the wherewithal, the emotional regulation to be able to tell that you're having a high anxiety day. That's really important. And once you are able to ascertain that, then you could do something about it. But I make sure that, I do my breathing exercises. I reach out and talk to people if I'm feeling that way. I try not to keep to myself, but also I try to keep boundaries as well. Kling says, yes, like Klingon, but not Kling at all. Just an alien that doesn't belong here. Word. Michelle is here and Iris. Hi, everybody. 20 people already. Can you please hit the like so more people will see this live stream? more people can hang out with us or not. Maybe you don't want other people to be here, which is totally fine too. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of people because autism. QC Cat Planes, hi from New Zealand. So nice to be here. Hi, how are you? I don't know anyone from New Zealand, so I'm so happy that you're here. Click the like, and the share. Help me get to 10K before the end of the year. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Taylor, I saw that you hi PF Ballman. Look what I got in the mail today. PF Ballman sent me this beautiful postcard. And it's a green-haired lady, so totally into that. And I think that they did this art. So how beautiful is that? Thank you for sending that. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so Taylor, I did this video on yeah, thank you so much. Nobody has to send me anything, but that was so nice of you to think of me, especially because I'm a green-haired, kind of green-eyed person. Yeah, so I did that video where I accidentally didn't screen record correctly. I don't know what I did wrong. I was trying not to use like a plugin to do it, just using QuickTime because I thought maybe I don't know like where the plugin comes from, right? So anyway, I was doing a reaction video to my first porch coffee videos, and my mother said that that would be a good idea. But let me tell you, boring. So boring. I didn't mind that the video didn't come out because I was putting myself to sleep. It was so bad. I was like, wow, I'm glad this only has a few hundred views. Like, wow, like I'm not one to speed a video up to watch it, but I was like, during the reaction, I was like, if you have watched this, please put it on like 1.5, 2 times the speed. I know it's like you change a lot after making videos, right? Like, you just get more comfortable and you're able to speak more freely. But yeah, so slow. I was talking so slow. I was embarrassed for myself. But you have to start somewhere, and I want people to know that, right? Because if I know a lot of people message me, they say I've inspired them, which is crazy, to start a YouTube channel and take the plunge. And it's going to be bad when you first start. Your video will suck. Actually, I saw a new girl, I can't remember her name, who told me she did her first video. So I went and checked it out, and her video was so much better than my first videos that I felt like embarrassment for myself. Like, what did I do wrong? I tried so hard. Yeah, Holly, if you wait until you don't suck, you've waited too long because yes, Alyssa, Taylor is here. She has kindly sunk to my level. Taylor, Justin Timberlake has a book and you read it? Okay. Okay. Do you think he really wrote it? Do you think it was like a ghostwriter? Trina, I appreciate. Does it surprise you that I love JT? What JT do you love? Like, have you grown into loving like all the iterations of JT? Were you an original? Is he in sync? No, I can't remember. Backstreet Boys? They're all blurred together in my mind. Oh, wow, you make the postcards using AI, so each one is entirely unique. That is so cool. I would have never even thought about doing something like that. You know what I love? It has my hair and my friends smile. So it's cool. How about Mickey Mouse Club, JT? Well, okay, if you were like young and you were watching that, we're gonna have to terminate our friendship. Okay, well, do you want me to send back the contract? Remember in the contract it says you have to send a notice to vacate the friendship, so PF Ballman, you don't have to do anything like that. I'm just grateful that you sent one. I don't get a ton of mail, so. So here's the thing about watching Disney, though. I grew up not poor, lower middle class. Okay, I won't say I grew up poor. I grew up like a lot of people grow up in America. We did not have the Disney Channel for a long time. The only time we got the Disney Channel was like once or twice a year when cable would put out the here's what you could get if you paid for more. And I would like do all of my watching of the Disney Channel at that point in the 90s. Sam's Cats and Crochet. What a wonderful channel name. Alyssa just asked an amazing question. How do you deal with relatives disputing your self-diagnosis? Okay. That's a tough one. That's actually one of the reasons I got a formal diagnosis, because I was worried that people would, especially so in the past, bye Taylor, thank you for stopping by. You're so sweet and the best, and I don't want to terminate our friendship, so have a good night. Okay. You're the best. I was afraid that people, even my family members, would question it because I was used to, I don't think my family would mind me saying this, but I grew up with them questioning every like illness or how I was feeling. I was afraid of that. So I got the formal diagnosis. However, not everyone can get that. I would say talk to people privately, ease them into it, like offer up the subject, offer up some reading materials, let them sit with that for a while, because most people don't know what autism really is, right? They've got one picture in their mind, right? Like a 5-year-old nonverbal boy, which is true. And we're happy to have them in the community, right? But we're not all the same. So they think of that one picture, and if you don't match that, then to them, you're not autistic. So presenting them with more information, different profiles of autism can be very helpful. I hope that was helpful, Alyssa. Because I understand, like, it's scary to come out to your family if you feel like you might be autistic. When I told my mother, she was kind about it, but she was hesitant, I think. Iris, get some sleep. Your health is more important than a stupid YouTube live. Sam says, my parents figured out I'm autistic after my brother got diagnosed. He's really into trains, by the way. Well, there's a reason stereotypes exist sometimes, I guess. A lot of autistic people, especially guys, seem to be into trains. Holly, you're totally right. 32 people, thank you for being here on a random Wednesday night. Let me know if you have any questions about me or autism in the comments. We're just hanging out. I'm at a point where I don't bother trying to convince anyone. Michelle, I think that is so wise, because I feel like I don't have anything to prove, and I don't care that if somebody doesn't believe it, that doesn't mean it's not true. Okay? Like, I know it. I know it's factually accurate. because as an autistic person, I wouldn't do anything that wasn't factually accurate. And other people don't matter. I used to really care about what people thought about me because before I was diagnosed, I didn't realize that I really cared about what people thought about me, even though I was like, I don't care what people think about me. I'm going to do my own thing. But I really did care. And that was because I couldn't read people. I didn't know what they were thinking. And I wanted to impress people. And now I know, and I'm not trying to be full of myself. I'm a cool person. I'm fun to be around. So if you don't want to be supportive or be my friend or whatever, that's cool. Go live your own life. We don't have to be friends. Michael asked if an official diagnosis is very expensive. Jenna says it's about $3,000. So mine was not that expensive. Michael, it depends on where you're located. It is getting easier to get a diagnosis that's covered by insurance. Some states, some insurance providers will diagnose adults. It really depends on your insurance provider. It depends on where you're located. So I would check there first. The issue with that is like going to your GP and going through your GP and getting them to refer you. Like that might be an issue if they don't know anything about autism, and then being sent to be diagnosed to a person who doesn't know anything about autism. Like those are all things that can be an issue. Full transparency, I think mine was less than 1,000, maybe around 1,000. I went through AANE.org, Autism Asperger's Network. What's E? Don't know. .org. I reached out to them, let them know I was looking for a place to get a diagnosis for an adult. This is where my doctor sent me because in that particular system that I was in, they wouldn't diagnose me. And they sent me the information for a doctor who was in my area, but also did it virtually, which I think, if you're autistic virtually is the best, right? You don't have to leave your house. Plus, it's like already overwhelming. Yeah, Sam, it's a lot of work to get diagnosed. Again, not everyone agrees about self-diagnosis. And I would tend towards thinking formal diagnosis. However, there's so many things to consider when thinking. Oh, I'm going to skip ads for you guys. I didn't know that was a thing. There are so many things to consider when thinking about self-diagnosis. One, yeah, it's cost prohibitive. And a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum don't work. I just happened to be working at the time and had the money to do it. Also, it's not easy to get diagnosed, to get a doctor to listen to you all the time. So it's hard. I just convinced my sleep doctor to be a virtual visit. Not bad. Yeah, Michelle, I don't know anything about Embrace Autism, but $1,500 seems to be okay. Danielle, welcome. Danielle has been watching my channel for a very long time. Hey, if you guys have just stopped over, if you could click the like button, that really helps share me out to other people and we could have more people hang out with us. And the longer you're here, the better it's going to get because I already had a glass of wine and now I poured some like wine, seltzer water, vanilla syrup deal. Trina says that Embrace Autism has been wonderful. They screen you first and let you know if it's worth going through the process. How great is that? I don't speak Russian. But whoever said wine in a ceramic cup? Okay, well, first of all, yes, because I find getting my wine glasses clean to my standard is hard. And also, This is the Porch Coffee mug. Shameless plug. If you want to be a mug club member, witchatheory.com. Mary, don't ask me the cocktail breakdown. I think it would be a sin to call it a cocktail. It's like 5 ounces of wine. Then the rest of it is cherry seltzer water and then some sugar-free vanilla syrup. See, Michelle only drinks wine out of mugs. That makes 2 out of, what, 36 of us. So who's really weird in this situation? Kat, I agree with that. I think it is, I think it's totally worth it if you can make it happen for yourself. Again, though, just to reiterate, the cost, the stress, it's not for everybody. Michael, thank you for your email today, Michael. Like the McRib, I am here for a limited time only. Have I ever had a McRib? I've had like a McRib knockoff off at a cafeteria. I'm not really big into fast food. Are you guys? My spouse seems to like it more than I do. But I like I've never just it's not that great in America anyway. And I hate to be one of those people who say in America, but hi Andre, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Michael, I like do you like how I went off talking about the McRib? Like that is what you meant? Oh my gosh, speaking of, so I send memes to some of my autistic friends. What was the meme I saw that I was like, say what? Do you ever see memes where it's like, just learned as an autistic person that it doesn't mean this? I experience that all the time. Let's see. Sorry, I was just messaging some people. Maybe they want to come hang out with us. Thank you for saying my hair color is cute. The top is old lady. The bottom is green. Andre, I'm happy you're doing good. Coral, I'm so happy you're here. For some reason, that made me emotional. First time I've caught you live. I don't know why it made me emotional, but everyone's support means so much to me. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. When I started YouTube, I really braced myself. Thank you, Danielle. You're so sweet. I really braced myself for negative. Like, there was no point where I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to build this amazing community. Like, I'm going to make friends here. I'm going to, like, meet people I resonate with. I just got ready for the hate. Now, I get hate comments from time to time, which I love because that means that I'm growing as a channel. But that doesn't, 99% of the feedback is so positive. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Let's see. Oh, okay, here it is. Me when I discovered that eye contact literally doesn't mean staring into the retina of people's eyes. It just means generally looking at someone's face. I'm autistic and took it literally. Guys, is this true? Because what do they want? Is that true, guys? It's not literal. It's just like in the direction of one's face? What does it mean? Because in my mind, eye contact means you're looking at a person's eyeballs, right? Not just in their general direction. You think it's true, PF Ballman? Well, news to me, everybody. I did not know that. You've been told they, I'm assuming neurotypicals, can tell if you directly stare into their eyes for long periods of time. Michelle is on my side, staring into the eyes, right? Eye contact, eyes looking at eyes. Oh, so I've messaged a few people and they're like, "Oh, I'm already watching your live." Well, thank you. Nice to have you. Holly, is that news to you too? Uh, what do I do moving forward? What they want to know you're reading their face like they're reading yours. Hi, my soul called life. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Israel Brown. Israel seems to think it's a periodic eye looking. Okay. Like they want to know you're paying attention. Why is it called eye contact then? Why isn't it called like casual facial viewing? If you look at their eyes and then off and then back on again, isn't that shifty? Like I don't know. Because nothing they ever want is straightforward. Here's what I want to say though. Sometimes I get comments, which I delete, from people who are very neurodivergent people who are anti-neurotypical person. That is not what I'm about here. So if that's you don't have to stick around. Yeah. I'm not anti anybody like that. That's not pushing us in a positive direction. So we're not going to do that on this channel. Oh, and somebody today asked me, and then Barry kindly pointed out that why did I delete your comment? Sometimes I don't. Like if you leave a link or if you leave something that goes against YouTube guidelines, it filters it out. So I'm sorry if you felt like I deleted you. Now, if you're saying like some sort of racist, bigoted, mean, rude comment to me, yeah, I will delete your comment because I don't gotta read that stuff if I don't want to, and I don't have to have other people read it. I used to think everyone deserved their time to speak, but guess what? The internet is a wild place and some people are unhinged. Like I'm pretty nuts, but there are some people who are ill. Andre says they recently had somebody tell me they make good eye contact, but I don't think I'm the best at it. Well, me neither. I think about it all the time. Like my dad growing up would always be like, look me in the eyes, look at me in the eyes. Because he'd be talking to me and I'd be looking away. And now I'm like, well, turns out it was a thing. One ASD coworker goes overboard and locks onto your eyes and never blinks. It's hard for autistic people, Israel. Like, what do you want? Because if you're telling us that we can only like look and look away, look and look away, then that's what we're thinking about when we're talking to you. That's not what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about what you're saying. Well, Barry, that's because you are nuts. Hey, Buttercup. Andre says he's had his dad say that to him too. Look at my eyes. I grew up like constantly. My dad was saying that, and I didn't know why, but now I do. Wow, 37 people are here, and we've got 30 likes. How nice is that, guys? We're just doing a quick live stream Q&A. Do you wanna know something about me, about autism, about yarn? I don't know. Always get labeled as deceptive or lying and so on. I get it. Exactly, Holly. I can either pay attention to you or look into your eyes. I remember once I was having like one of those meetings at work where I was getting a talking to and I needed to respond. And finally, I was just like, is it okay if I look away while I say this? Because it's easier for me to get it out. This is before I was diagnosed. I was struggling to have people understand that concept way before my diagnosis. Mary asks, I tell my autistic daughter to look at me if I'm having to repeat myself. I worry about overstimulating her, but I also want her to know how to communicate that she's listening. Is there a way that she might feel comfortable communicating it to you non-verbally? I'm just like spitting out ideas here. Like, for example, if she's listening, if she could put her hand up and, like, do a little wave or something. I understand, though, that eye contact is an important part of human communication, so I get why it's a struggle with parents and their children. I get that. Yeah, is there another way she could show you that she is listening without having to make eye contact? Coral, see, that's a great idea. My son prefers a thumbs up to show he's heard and understand. I get that it can be frustrating, right? Even so, as autistic people, we may expect communication like neurotypicals, right? If somebody doesn't look at me and acknowledge that I've talked to them, I'm like, well, how do I know that you've heard me, you know? Yeah, so we've got some ideas. Thumbs up, head nods, waves. Um, I find that if you wanted to like sit down with your daughter and explain that it's important to you that you know that she is perceiving you and understanding what you're saying. It's important to feel heard. And how can we bridge that gap? Because I know you struggle with eye contact, but that doesn't mean that you're not listening to mom. So, what can we do to help me know that you're listening? But listen, I also want to say that parenting autistic children, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, um, please don't feel, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's pretty normal. 37 people. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, maybe I'll announce while you're all here. I'm going to do my next hat drop. You can get like a sneak peek at some of what's going on over here. It's Halloween themed. It will be on Friday the 13th evening. So, plan to be here on Friday the 13th evening for our live stream where we give a hat away. Anybody can win it anywhere in the world. I think the past 2 people who have won it have been in the UK, so we gotta have more people enter because we can't give it to the UK for a 3rd time. How do you deal with humor in riddles? Sometimes jokes fly over my head, especially when it's too niche. Okay. I would say, um, it's really weird because when I'm interacting with autistic people, I know where they're coming from, so I understand the idiosyncrasies, the jokes better. Um, but I often won't know and I haven't really had to deal with this since I'm an adult, but, like, growing up, like, I wouldn't know if I was, like, if they were joking about me or if I was the butt of the joke, right? So, um, I think it's really helpful to have a friend around who you could check in with and ask for clarity. I know maybe that doesn't sound like the most helpful thing, but, there are times when I have to ask for clarity. Mary, yeah, I get it. It would be annoying to say, like, "Did you hear me?" Over and over again. So, yeah, I would sit down, have a talk, and create your own system of communication that works the best for you. Maximus says, "Loved your video on autism clothing choices. Why the same clothes over and over? Been doing it since childhood, all becoming quite clear." Indeed. Indeed, the autistic uniform is a thing. It's kinda like cartoon characters, right? They wear the same thing in every episode. How do other women treat you compared to men? Guys tend to be more straightforward, and it's easier to relate to them. Interesting question. I felt growing up that I always related or got along a little better with guys because they were more straightforward. And I didn't understand the social language that other girls were speaking. Um, Now I'm learning more how to fit myself into that in a healthy way. Elizabeth, welcome. OMG, hello, everyone in Claire. Well, hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Guys, 38 people, 38 likes. I'm not saying we're famous, but you're great now. Well, it's good to hear from you. I'm just here having a little porch coffee cocktail. My boss is Irish and surrounded by Brits, and they're all dudes, but they all beat around the bush, and I hate it. There's a Canadian dude on the team, though, and he keeps me up to date. Thank goodness. Interesting. Um, it's so hard to talk about cultural differences because I think sometimes it can appear or lean into racism when it's not. There are absolutely cultural differences in how people socially communicate. 150%. If you don't agree with that, please let me know. But, like, if you've met other people from different cultures and you're autistic, you know that there are different. I mean, we're only dealing with verbal communication, right? We don't pick up on other cues. Um, that can be really difficult when you're meeting people from other, cultures because at least in your own culture, like, within your own culture, you have some sort of idea about how it works. Um, However, if you're meeting somebody from a culture that you are unfamiliar with, it can be difficult to understand, like, social cues. Do you feel that way? Now, I love it because I think it's so important to, like, widen your worldview and learn about other ways of communication, but what did Mike say? At Mike. Perhaps wait until you are more confident before you tell people formal diagnosis, self-testing, etc. Did I miss something, Michael? I feel like people dismiss my autism if I tell them before I got a diagnosis, but it can take years to get one. I feel stuck. Any advice? Woo! Michael, I can relate to that. I obviously I came out publicly on YouTube. Um, I think I was afraid to tell people before my official diagnosis. I was. It's a hard thing. I would start by opening the discussion with people who are close to you, and gaining confidence that way, especially, like, pre-diagnosis. 40 people, thank you for being here. Sarah! Sarah has watched me for a long time. How are you doing, Sarah? I hope you're having a good evening. Chris has an adult nope, read the words. Have an adult ugh! Oh my gosh. Okay, brain, you got this. Have an autistic friend who moved to the UK. Absolutely has a problem navigating British understatements and euphemisms. Yes. Okay. So in America, so I lived in the UK for a while. So you know the thing where when people ask you how you're doing, they don't actually mean how are you? Like they don't actually want you to tell them how you're doing. It's a greeting and you say hi. Of course, I did not know that. I had to learn it the hard way. So in the UK, when I was living there, I was undiagnosed. So when people would ask me like how I was, and I would tell them like the honest truth, they did not know how to handle that. That was like sharing emotions. That was not a thing. Yeah, Elizabeth, the thing about, typing on a laptop, which is how I watch most of my lives, is they don't let you do the at. I don't know why. "We hear you very well." Did I what? Sorry. Was I being too loud? I'm sorry. On the mobile, it doesn't work, but on the laptop, it works. Let me try and tag Barry and see if it works. Ah, okay, so that's for me too. Okay, the mobile doesn't work for me, but the ads will run shortly for some viewers in 48 seconds. I already skipped one ad. How does it work? Should I like just let the ads run for some people? Do you catch up with me like in real time? Like how does that work? I'm so daft when it comes to stuff like this. Elizabeth, it is awesome to be in a live session with you too. It is currently 7:51 in California. Well, so you can run they do recommend you run ads during live sessions. So in 8 seconds, some people will get ads, but not everyone. So I'd be interested to know if but how long is it? And tell me. Okay, we just lost some people, I think. If you're still here, ads inserted. If you're still here, it looks like some people are pressing the heart, so not everyone got an ad. It's 10:52 here in Perth, Australia. That would be 10:52 AM, is that correct? Yeah. When I did my you got one for 5 seconds? That's not bad. I don't know what I was so worried about. When I did the Autism World Tour with Orion Kelly, if you haven't seen his channel, check him out. Um, yeah, I remember you guys are, like, ahead of us, like, morning. If it's my evening, it's your morning. Jess, I'm so happy that you wanted to say hi. What are you making right now? It says Jess making it. What are you working on? You see ads on your phone, but not through the TV. I get ads on my TV when I watch YouTube on the TV. Coral says it's 7:52 in BC, Canada. Well, that makes sense, 'cause I think we're in the same time zone. It's 3:53 PM Thursday in New Zealand? Is it really that different from New Zealand to Australia? I'm sorry if I sound ignorant. I am. Does anyone have any other questions about me or autism that they wanna talk about? I'd love that. Pass. Why are you awake? Pass is in Italy. Uh, you know what? Barry said it was 4 AM there too. You guys are nuts. Go to bed. Watch the replay. You have been told. You're knitting socks and working on a couple of blankets. I would love to try to knit a sock someday. I find, like, sock knitting to be, like, the highest of the high caliber. Jen says, about cultural differences, I used to work with a lot of people from Africa, and they were so much more direct to the point where than people are in the Midwestern US. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I was lucky enough to be in 2 graduate programs that were international well, like, I was with internet a lot of people from a lot of different countries, and it was very interesting to see how different people from different cultures communicated. Not that there is a right or wrong way, right? But there are different cultural norms for different cultures, so. Thanks, Kat. I will consider to do my, intro. Why? Well, because it makes me feel comfortable when I'm going into a video, so. Pass, I hope I didn't wake you up. Jess makes a lot of socks. If I ever have questions, just ask. I will. Your hair is not green today? It's just grown out. I was talking at the beginning of the live stream that it might be time to end the green. I know. I love it. You know, PF Bauman, my spouse, for the first time today, was singing my intro song, which is like, I just never thought I'd hear him sing it, and he was just making up weird words to it. It was really funny. What do you use for hair dye? There is a playlist on my channel, and I've used a bunch of different green hair dyes. I've tried a lot of them. I've noticed a pattern that a lot of autistic women who were undiagnosed until adulthood participated in formal dance classes growing up. Has anyone else seen this, or is it just me? I did not take any formal dance. I was, like Tay from Mom on the Spectrum, I was a cheerleader. Or maybe she wasn't a cheerleader. Maybe I'm misspeaking. I know she was on homecoming court or something, queen court. I was also on prom court and a cheerleader. But I was on prom court because the people who voted for it were the dates of the teachers at prom. And I went around before they all voted and introduced myself because thoughts and ideas. Barry, if you don't sleep, you will be dead, you know? Michelle, your 8-year-old sings my song around the house. Sorry. Sorry about that. Well, thanks, Jess. I think it matches my eyes well too. It makes me happy. So that's why I do it. What do I do for a living? Great question. Does anyone want to guess? So I used your teachers brought dates to prom. Yeah, but they were like chaperones. As a spectrum, right? Yeah, everyone is different. You think I'm a hatter? Well, that makes sense. So I do a few things. I have an LLC for Woodshed Theory. So my current dream and job is making content. Am I successful at that? Working on it. And then I also, through my LLC, I design t-shirts. I have my website. I have my Etsy where I make hats and things. An LLC is a limited liability company. It's basically how you, like, incorporate yourself as a small business. It's not a corporation. It's a small business. Like, I am the sole proprietor of my company. Dancing is likely a stim for some. Indeed. That's true, we do all have different goals. It's hard, because I have been through many iterations of my life. I get it, cat in the box, I totally get it. I knew what you meant. Um, it's hard, because I've had different definitions of success throughout my life. For a time, like, I was very successful in recruiting, I was making a ton of money, which was great, but I was also so stressed out and, like, burnt out and ready to be done. I've also, like, um, worked really hard in academics, and that didn't really go anywhere, so these are all things that I thought I would wanna be successful in. Now, I just want to be able to pay my bills. I think that's just what I want to do. You seem to not get along or relate to people who are older than you for some reason. Interesting, because I love old people. Old ladies are my jam. Would you would you talk about your tattoos? Okay. I have several tattoos. I got them when I was younger. I have 2 swallows on my back in a classic American tattoo style. I have a basic heart on my foot. Should I be telling people this? I don't think it's, like, a bad thing to tell people what tattoos you have, right? Like, unless you're trying to, like, copy my body. Anyway, and then, I have a Hebrew tattoo on my arm. So, birds, Hebrew, heart. Do you find that a lot of people on the spectrum do better being self-employed? Do better defined as being happiest? Happiest, yes. The issue for us, right, is, a lot of people are on the spectrum, like, we go to college, we have lives, like, we can't live with our parents, right? We have financial requirements, and we struggle to meet them because we have we struggle to hold down a traditional job. But then we also struggle to be self-employed because, it's hard to be self-led. Someone might try to steal your ID. I don't think anyone here would, you're right, but I also don't think, like, I mean, you could ID me by my tattoos, but, like, they're tattoos. I'm very careful with, like, security and things like that, so, I'm super careful with it. For example, like, sometimes people will ask you, like, "What's the front of your house look like?" Are you kidding me? I'm not telling you that. Like, people need to be careful with their information. I love the wind chime sound in your videos. Thank you, visitor. Funny story, it used to be this terrible screeching sound at the beginning of my videos. I loved it. It was several, alien sounds put together. Sorry, so rude. It's so rude. Oh. To me, the sound represented what it felt like to be autistic. It was very uncomfortable. That's why it was that sound. Everyone hated it, and normally I wouldn't change for people, but it was enough comments where people were like, "Please change the sound. I can't handle it." So that's how the wind chimes came into play. Wondering how many people here have jobs in or around their special interests. I used to feel that if I did something that I was good at or my special interests, like, it didn't count as working hard. So I threw myself into things that were hard for me. I don't feel that way anymore. Are you into alien stuff or is the imagery just fitting for ASC? I wouldn't say that I love sci-fi and stuff like that, if you mean like that. But I wouldn't say like I'm an alien fanatic. I think it's more to do with how I feel as a person. Elizabeth, that's awesome. She's found her niche. OCD Brain, I promise I did not. Hello. First of all, I didn't block your comments today. Just so you know. I don't know how that happened, but I sing and it has been my plan since I was a toddler. Lost celebrity. Yeah, sorry, dude. I or dudette. I don't know who you are, but yeah, I didn't block your comment. Sometimes if I don't know if you put a link in the comment or said something that YouTube thought was against their policies, but sometimes it filters it out. Jess says her job is in her special interest and she's ADHD. I was obsessed with math but studied medicine. Did you feel like that was because I felt that I had to pursue something that was difficult for me? Maybe this is going to sound so weird. I pursued something that things that were difficult to me because I felt like I had to earn it, and things that were easy for me, that wasn't enough work. Is that I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but oh, Kelly, good night. Uh, who was just saying they were just watching Survivor? I don't watch Survivor. Kelly, I used to be totally before you go, I used to be totally into Amazing Race. I loved that idea. Now I'm like, I don't know if I could handle it, but exactly. You want to make it worth it, Barry. Like an inner sense of having to live up to a work ethic. Yes, because I felt like if it came easily to me, like now doing things that are creative and sewing and crochet and all these things, um, to me that comes very naturally and it just feels natural. But that felt like it wasn't work, so it didn't count and it wasn't being successful, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that's an interesting reason to get into medicine. That's cool. I thought easy was boring. Now I don't have that issue. Good, Elizabeth, because why make if you're autistic, why make life harder than it has to be, you know? Just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. Be yourself. I'm playing a video game. I play it every day over and over without dying in it. Are you talking about your life or an actual video game? Autosomatic is a good video on us being conned into working harder and all that stuff. Well, I will definitely look that up. Thank you for sharing. 38 people on a Wednesday night, guys. What does the tattoo on my inner arm say if you want to share? It is in Hebrew. It says, the kasher avadati avadati. That means, and if I perish, I perish. It's what Milchat Esther, Queen Esther says before she goes in to see the king, because she knows that if she goes in to see the king without, if she goes in to see the king without an invitation, she could be killed, be sent to death. She does it anyway to save her people. No, OCD brain, I'm not Jewish. I do have a lot of education in the ancient Near East and ancient Near Eastern languages. You got into traumatology? First of all, I didn't even know it was a thing. You see gruesome accidents all the time. Not to be affected by the sight of injuries and do my job the best as possible. That's crazy, dude. Sarah, you know why it's funny though? In modern Hebrew, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but Hebrew was a revived language. So in the modern form of Hebrew, la'aved means to get lost, which kind of makes sense, right? Perish, lose oneself, get lost. So in modern Hebrew, my arm says, and if I get lost, I get lost. So it seems very like transcendentalism, like hippie. Mhm, mhm. Does Hebrew also have numerical value symbols on the letters? I'm not sure if I know what you mean. Numerical value and symbols on the letters. I believe there is a way to do that. Like there is a way to do that, but like as far as like letters representing numbers, like there is a system for that, but I don't think it's used like in a modern sense that often. Thanks, Israel. OCD Brain says, any trolls in here? Come on in, trolls. I had a troll on my last live stream and I was like, woohoo, I've made it. What did the troll say on my video? So I think I really annoyed them because I just wasn't like, I'm just going to get comfortable if that's okay. I think it really annoyed the troll because they were very like, they kept asking very like intense questions over and over and over again. And I just kept answering them. And I could tell that they were kind of being a troll, but you know, whatever. And then finally they basically what OCD Brain says, you're a phony. Basically, that's what they said. That's fine. I would love to meet a person who's pretending to be autistic for clout or like why? Like of all the things to choose, autism? I I'm not like I don't I'm not that success like why? There are other ways to make more money, better money. Like I just don't get it. You're a phony and taking advantage because you're different than your videos and on your lives. Oh, that is what they said, my so-called life. Thank you for reminding me. Feels so good. Isn't it weird that like when I'm being very serious and trying to talk about a topic, I present myself differently than when I'm just hanging out with people? It's so weird. Must mean I'm a phony. So, to be honest, some people use autism as an excuse to cover up their wrongdoings. I really try not to use autism as an excuse. I don't view it as an excuse. I just view it as foundational. I don't know if that makes sense. Thanks, Elizabeth. I don't think I'm phony, but, maybe they can get into my head and I can start thinking like, well, maybe I'm phony and I don't even know it. Will you talk about the link between autism and asexuality in the future? Pass. I don't know if I'm equipped to talk about that. I don't know much about it. I know that it's common. Um, as a person who's not, sometimes people ask me to talk about subjects where maybe I could just get a guest on to speak about it because I want to make sure that I'm being fair to the subject, if that makes sense. Like I'm not asexual and I've never been asexual, so I don't want to speak for asexuals. TikTok kids saying, "I'm so ADHD, I locked my little bro inside the bathroom for a week." Yeah, that sucks. You're just a poop head, not. Elizabeth says Purple Ella has some videos on asexuality. Well, thanks, Andre. I don't see myself as a phony either, but you know what? The internet is the internet. And there are going to be people on the internet that don't think I'm real. There are going to be people on the internet that aren't nice, that are creepy, that send you weird emails. It's just part of the whole thing. So I just try and take it as it comes and just be gracious for all the people who are kind. Sex could be a stimming, which causes some to go hypersexual. Well, I suppose it's possible. I wonder if being asked if I'm ASD is related to my ADHD showing. It's possible. You like my cultural honesty. Well, thanks, Pass. I appreciate that. Have you gotten weird emails? Heck yeah. Maybe we don't talk about it as like autistic YouTubers, but I think every autistic YouTuber that I'm friends with has gotten weird emails. It's just part of it. Everything from like weird, strange romantic stuff, telling you too much information. I just take it all with a grain of salt. And if I don't feel comfortable with the email, I just don't respond. Troll emails, all different kinds of emails. I put my email up there for business inquiries, so I'm gonna get emails from people. Most emails are great and not creepy, and some emails are strange and creepy. People going through like hard stuff and maybe they shouldn't have sent the email and just, it just happens. I haven't gotten anything like nasty pics on Instagram. I haven't gotten anything with YouTube like that. I did get it once. I had somebody send me pictures at my old job. I had like sent an email out from my job and they started sending me pictures. It had my cell phone number on the email. That was a whole thing. We had to like get the company lawyer involved to send a cease and desist. Hi, butterfly kisses. Did I get threats? Not necessarily, no. No, thank God. That's scary to think about. I'm sure people do. I have talked to people who've gotten threats before, but thank goodness that hasn't been my experience as of yet. Mostly just like either just like maybe not threats, but like calling me out, or I think I've had a few emails like that. Trolly emails. You're welcome to hang here with me, Butterfly Kisses. Sorry you keep having rough nights. I know a lot of YouTubers get a lot of hate, and sometimes they get hate mail. Jeez Louise, guys, I've never gotten hate mail. I'm just excited when I get any mail. That's happened to me. I used to be a mod on Twitch. It's a wonderful playground for all the trolls. They don't like it when you ban them. Claire gets my mail. I mean, you've messaged me before. Is that what you mean? Anyway, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, as far as like getting email from people, I just try to set boundaries, for myself and my own personal health. Butterfly Kisses, I think OCD brain is just kidding around, so don't take that to heart. I always think about that song from the 90s that was so popular. Was it in the 90s? Butterfly Kisses after bedtime prayer. It played on the radio over and over again, and everyone got married, dance with their dad to that song. You remember that song? Anyone? Am I alone? We have 38 people and 48 likes. Thank you. Elizabeth doesn't know that song. Go look it up. It's like, it was almost like it was written to be like a father-daughter dance song at a wedding. It's about like a daughter growing up. Pass doesn't listen to music at all. I understand that. I want to content create, and the more I learn about it, the more I don't want to be available to contact at all other than in the comments. No social media or email or anything. I think that could be healthy. I get it. Your friend was a vlogger. He got poop delivered to his P.O. box. He probably pissed somebody off. Well, I think he pooped somebody off. See, it's just strange. Yeah, the internet's a strange place. Holly, you remember the song It's Pretty for the first 300 times. It was on the radio like Taylor Swift is on the radio now. And I like Taylor Swift. I'm just saying, like, over and over and over and over again. Little white flowers all up in her hair. I'm trying to remember the words. I've never danced with my dad. I can't imagine it. I went to like a daddy-daughter dance when I was little with Girl Scouts, but maybe we danced then, or maybe at a wedding or something, but what is my favorite safe food? I'm one of those people who goes through like I'll have a fixation on a food for a while. I'll be able to eat it for like every breakfast or every lunch or whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, I'm done with that one. I can't imagine dancing with my dad either. Yeah, I didn't have any dancing at my wedding, so couldn't dance to Butterfly Kisses. I'm just trying to remember how the rest of the song goes. Korean food is my favorite. You could eat chicken nuggets all year round. I love anything like buffalo chicken, like hot sauce on chicken. Yum. Cass, I don't think I've read your blog, and it's not because I don't want to. So if you want to send me the link, I'd love to look it up. Thanks, Andrew. I do get comments on my YouTube about not liking my singing voice, which is fine. Listen, I'm putting myself out there for the world. I don't like everyone I meet. I mean, I'm just being honest. Do you like every single person you meet? Sometimes I meet people and I'm like, you may be the most boring person I've ever met. I don't say that to them, but like you just don't vibe with everybody. I just don't get why people have to talk about it. Like, because it's anonymous, it's okay to just be mean. So dumb. Thai food, Cat Lily. I love Thai food. I could eat pad Thai every day. Sashimi and sushi, love that too. What is my favorite song or artist? I don't know that I have one anymore. I went through like a period where I used to be really into music. I went through like some traumatic times and just some stuff and stopped being into music. And now I just like to listen to the radio when it's on. Do I drink alcohol? Yes. As I mentioned, I poured myself a small wine cocktail, and I had a glass of wine before I got on here. So look how social I'm being. I love your disposition on this. Thanks. What's your favorite hobby at the moment? Michelle, she's drinking it right now. It's alcoholic porch coffee. But just so you know I look young. Maybe I don't, but I'm old enough to drink by a lot. A lot. You know how it is with autism. You just look younger than you are, which is so cool. Most of us look younger than we are. What's my favorite hobby at the moment? I've gotten back into sewing, and I'm really enjoying that. OCD brain, I think you're singing some sort of song. I don't know it. I'm not familiar, but that's cool. 37 people. Barry, yeah. I mean, Barry, I thought I was going to have you sign a waiver for the Autism World Tour, like have your parents sign a waiver or something, right? I didn't know if you were old enough to be on the internet. That is sarcasm. I can drink a lot of whiskey, but a pint of beer makes me feel awful. It is interesting how that happens for some people, isn't it? Is cannabis an okay topic here? That is a good question. What do I want to say about cannabis? I am cannabis positive. So yes, it's an okay topic. I'm just careful about what I say because it's very controversial. Andre loves Thai food too. I mean, come on. That coconut soup, Thai food's awesome. Yes, I did know that Barry is a cannabis user. I think cannabis can be very positive for people with autism, but it's also a very controversial topic, so it's hard to talk about, especially on the internet. Does anyone know what song OCD Brain is singing? He can continue to type it out. I just don't know. So, Red Primo, if you have questions about it or something, I have an elderly dog with epilepsy. He takes CBT oil and never had a seizure since. The plant is not bad. It's what you do with it. I would agree with that. Yeah. I would totally recommend like CBT treats for dogs. if there's like a storm or you're having somebody babysit them and they're like going crazy, it could be really helpful. Sarah says, Sarah says, since using adult herbal edibles, I am discovering music in all new ways. That's understandable. If it really does help me with some of the holistic challenges I face, the devil's lettuce, that is, I would, yeah, yeah. He takes cognitive behavioral therapy oil. Exactly. Some might say it's even better than cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Thank you for liking my hair color. I like that you say that's sarcasm. Laughed because I often check with hubby to see if someone is being sarcastic. Yeah, I find that I struggle with that as an autistic person as well. So maybe that's why I'm always. It's weird because a lot of times when I'm joking with neurotypicals, they're like, we got that it was a joke, but I just want to make sure. Buttercup says, I think the dysregulation of the endocannabinoid system contributes to some autism symptoms. There's a growing body of research to support that. I don't know. And autism symptoms. So are you saying that it exacerbates autism symptoms? I know that, for example, in California, if you get tested for ADHD, they drug test you to make sure that it's not in your system because it can exacerbate ADHD symptoms. I know you're a gardener and dry farming cannabis is a kind of special interest of mine. That's cool. Where do you get that oil for your dog? Elizabeth, I think it depends on where you live. I don't know if it's like specialty pet stores and stuff like that. Sometimes you can order it from the internet, but it really depends on where you live, I think. What's legal where you live. You're emotionally addicted to THC. So I quit a little over 5 months ago, finally. I've been trying to quit for 13 years. It really helped me release trauma through, though, like a spiritual medicine, but to a point. I would agree with you. I think that is it's a very useful tool for that. Your greyhound cries when I leave the house without him. Maybe the CBT stuff would help. It's possible. But it sounds like a attachment issue, huh? Oh, saying that it helps with autism system. That would make sense to me. That would make sense to me. You guys are trying to get me to talk about pot, but I need to be careful. I just want to be very I don't, I yeah. I want to be neutral. Yes. I usually stop cannabis for at least 3 months to a year. Both my general physician and therapist are aware and support the use. I'm glad that you have understanding doctors. Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm trying to handle it well. Cannabis is illegal in Italy. Yeah, so that's I have to be very careful with how I speak about it because it's not legal everywhere. I'm not saying do or do not. Um, you've been sleeping straight through the night lately, which is a blessing because that doesn't normally happen. I stopped sleeping late through the night since I went on a new medication. So that was a big adjustment for me. Do I meditate? Not really. Yeah, YouTube can be weird about cannabis talk as well. So I just want to be careful. In a world where it would be different if things were different, but it's not. I think you're really cute. Tony, how kind. Do I stim? Yeah, of course I stim. What's your go-to stim? Doodling? Doodling. How do OCD meds help with the intrusive thoughts? OCD brain, are you on OCD meds? According to my psychiatrist, it's been shown that high levels, above average or above recommended dosage of SSRIs, have been shown to help people with OCD with their intrusive thoughts. And for me, game changer. And I'm so glad that I was on the medication for a while before I started, before I got into group therapy, because it gave me an opportunity to see myself more clearly. Pass. How do I feel about being an international YouTube star? This is such a good question. And you know what? Nobody asks me this. Nobody asks me about this. I don't know why either. I mean, with a following of 8,800 people, you'd think I'd get this question all the time. You know, it's a burden, but I'm willing to handle that burden for the fans. What am I even saying? It's all a joke. Please know that that was all a joke. I'm not an international YouTube star. I mean, people from all over the world watch me, but I wouldn't consider myself that. So, do I think autism is on the rise or diagnosis is getting better? The latter. Diagnosis is getting better. I don't think it's on the rise. We've been here. Sarah, yeah, the fans. I just find that so silly. Not that I would say no to, like, the paycheck of an international YouTube star. So, if you guys wanna subscribe, but I wouldn't consider myself an international YouTube star. I did get, noticed in public once, and that was, like, the best day ever. I asked to take a picture with them because I was so excited. Do you think that they'll add sensory processing disorder to the DSM? I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Orion Kelly got a YouTube check mark? You're next? Good for him. He got a plaque too. Was really exciting. I think it's good that Orion, Taylor are great people, and they're super supportive of me, and I hope I'm supportive of them, and I'm happy for their success. Do you also have a hard time with affection like I do as an autistic person? Every autistic person is different on this. I know that. In some ways, yes, but in most ways, no. Obviously, there are times where I, like, don't wanna be touched and stuff. Barry says, "Let me see if my millions are on yet, and I'll just send you a few." Oh, thank you. I'll take millions of subscribers or dollars. I'm pretty open on that front. Do I wanna have children in the future? So, that is a great question. Kind of a private question, but, if it happens, that would be good, I guess. Guess. I don't guess. What I'm trying to say is a lot of people, uh, or a lot of, women wanna be mothers, like, very early on in their life, and for me, that, I never felt like that draw, but I would eventually like to have a family, outside of my spouse and I. Aren't I concerned about my kids inheriting autism? Controversial topic. Uh, there's a high likelihood that my children would be autistic. I it's such a hard topic. Like, if whatever I say is gonna be bad. There's a high likelihood that my children would be autistic and that they'd have OCD. Am I worried about it? I think that as a diagnosed person, we could navigate it. And I don't think that autistic people are less. Um, so it's not a concern. I've also, like Buttercup just said, concerned. I'd hope so. So, would I hope one way or the other? The only concern I have about having neurotypical children is I don't have a frame of reference. I hope that that makes sense. I don't have a frame of reference to support that. Um, however, you know, I don't think one is better than the other. I don't have a preference per se. I would just want to be the best parent possible. And I don't think having autism is necessarily something to worry about. Hi, Peter. Hello. Do I have rejection sensitivity? More so when I was younger, for sure, because I knew I was different and I knew I was being rejected. Like, why wouldn't I have rejection sensitivity? Also, like, not being able to read social cues. Like, for example, if somebody's like, "We're going to the movies," I not knowing that that was an invitation for me to go too, and it was like, "Okay, well, why don't they want me around?" You know? So, yeah, of course. You wouldn't want them to go through the bullying I went through as a kid and a teenager. I get that. I get that. I get it. It's such a tough topic. It's like impossible. There's no right answer. Alyssa, I always felt like an outcast growing up. Like, I always felt like I wasn't fitting. Um, and that was really hard for me. So, has anyone bullied me at school? I mean, I think I got like, I won't say it was like awful. But I was different. I was weird. So, yeah, of course, people were not into it. Do you mind saying what your Hebrew tattoo translates as? I think I mentioned it before, but I can say it again. It translates to "And if I perish, I perish." Sorry about the barking. It translates to "And if I perish, I perish," which is something that Queen Esther says in the Book of Esther in the Hebrew Old Testament. Most autism has complex post-traumatic stress disorder from bullying. Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't necessarily say that mine is from bullying, but, that makes sense. There's a lot of bullying that goes on when you're different. You were beaten with basketballs as a teenager. You had to Why wouldn't you want your mom to see the bruises because you were embarrassed that she'd make a big deal out of it? Or I'm sorry that that happened. Teachers bullied you. I've heard of that happening as well. Elizabeth says she wouldn't be able to cope with kids, and I'm not sure if I like the world that would be for them in the future. Yeah, yeah, it's a tough decision. But I find that most autistic people, they don't have if they have kids, it's not a lot. Gemma! Gemma's in the house! Gemma, I'm glad I stayed on for an hour and 40 minutes waiting for you. Gemma, what time is it there? Did you sleep? Tell me you slept. I'm going to hold you accountable. You're not getting enough sleep. If you haven't reached out to or watched Gemma's Journey Grace, she's a beautiful person. She makes wonderful YouTube videos. I really like your videos, Gemma. I slept at 4:44 a.m. What is wrong with all of you? Gemma, you're the third person. Barry, Pass, Gemma, it is not time to be awake. Gemma's videos, some of my favorite, she does a commentary on like autism in the news, which I don't get into at all in my videos. And it's so good. Like I wouldn't even think to make videos about it. And she covers like local and worldwide autism news stories, and I love it. It's very good. I'm super proud of you, Gemma. Gemma, you know what I was thinking today? I think in one of your videos I just watched, you were talking about how tall you were, and I didn't realize you were so much shorter than me. Like I'm interested to meet you and give you a hug because you're really a lot shorter than me. Thanks, Peter. It's nice to have you, Peter. I can see what you mean, that autism really isn't the issue, it's the bullying. Yeah, that's why I'll keep ad nauseum speaking about acceptance, and also that there isn't a hierarchy between neurodiverse and neurotypical people. That's really important to me. We need to learn to speak to each other. So what are you saying too much info about? Physical disability. Oh, okay. Well, Alyssa, just so you know, I expect TMI from the autistic chat. Why? Because it's part of the MO. Is 6'4" short? No, it's not short. You know that. Come on now. I'm sorry if I'm not following the chat completely, guys. It's a lot of people. Peter, you've been autistic for 75 years. Boy, has that sucked. I'm really sorry that... Gemma! Take it back. Take it back, Gemma. Thank you for your donation, Gemma, but it is not necessary. Love you, girl. Peter, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I don't know when you were diagnosed or when you came to know that you were autistic. I know that learning that and looking back on your life can be really difficult. I only hope that moving forward you could find joy in who you are. I have been able to do that, and I hope that you can too. Jax, we're great at sharing. We'll share anything. Have a good one, Elizabeth. It was nice to see you. Bye, Jess. Sleep well. I know it's getting late for some people, so I'll probably end up maybe at the 2-hour mark we'll leave. Alyssa says your dad thought you were autistic and your mom took a while to believe the diagnosis. I kind of got the opposite reaction. Not that my father doesn't think I'm autistic, but I think everyone handles that news differently. Peter, thank you for letting us know you've been autistic for 75 years, and boy, has that sucked, but you've told me 3 times. So yeah, I heard you. I hope that it gets better for you. There can be a lot of joy in being autistic, I think. It's pretty awesome. Gemma, what are you getting done to your hair? A new color? Red, perhaps? OCD says Russian guy. Color and cut fun. It's okay, Peter. I know you said it's your first time on a live stream. Just know sometimes I won't see everyone's comments or chats because it's hard to keep up with everybody. But the good part is you've caught my live before I get too famous and it's moving too fast. So I usually see your comments. So you got in early. Do I have trouble with sleep regulation? Only now. I'm on a medication that it wakes me up several times a night, but sorry. It does wake me up several times a night. So that's been something to get used to. I used to not have any issues sleeping at all, but the medication helps me so much that I don't care. Ambient, you're famous in our house. That's so sweet. A little silly, but also very sweet. Coffee does nothing to me. Anyone else with that skill? I have heard that people with autism and or ADHD experience that, like the adverse effect. So like an ADHD person, I think it's time for me to go, guys. ADHD people can like drink coffee and then take a nap. I feel that way too. Barry, how can your joints wake you up several times a night when you're only like 18? I can't wait to hear all the things that you have to tell me, Gemma. Barry and Peter got the same vibe. I don't think that's true, but maybe. We all have a similar vibe, right? Dark Judge says, nope, you don't want to see me without coffee. Though my wife is ADHD and hates coffee, caffeine does nothing for her. I agree. Like when I always think it's really mean that before you have coffee in the morning, you have to make it. Because I'm the person who like pours coffee grounds like directly into the cup or pours coffee beans into my cup instead of the grinder. Like it's a mess trying to get caffeine into my system in the morning. Do Brits have tea making machines? Electric kettles. I don't know if that counts as a tea making machine, but almost every Brit has an electric kettle. We have one in our home, but I will say that electric kettles are not very common in America, and they should be because I use it all day, every day. I remember you lived abroad, but I don't remember where exactly. And do you miss living abroad? I've lived in Jerusalem, Israel, and Cambridge in the UK. And do I miss it? I miss parts of it. Yeah. If I could do it again and be with like my spouse, like my loved one, and I wouldn't mind living in another country again. Yeah, Dark Judge, I don't do it on purpose, obviously. Yeah, I don't know about a barista machine for tea. Honestly, I don't drink tea like that. When I did live in the UK, I drank a lot more tea, just because that's what people drank. But Cat in the Box, why Jerusalem? Michelle's been to Jerusalem. That's cool. I studied a program called the Bible in the Ancient Near East with a focus on ancient Near Eastern languages. And if you want the best information, why not go to the source? I know. wow, but also why? I'm happy I did it though. So, Dark Judge, that sounds like a good idea, but I don't actually have a drip coffee maker. We only have a pour over. I like having a coffee pot to me. I want my coffee fresh, and yeah, so I do a pour over every time from a gooseneck kettle. Ooh, drinking homebrewed cold brew right now. I haven't done that in a long time. Do I speak Hebrew? Katsati Vritz. Hayiti Talmida Yerushalayim Universita Ivrit. So I said I speak a little Hebrew. I was a student at Hebrew University. But my Hebrew right now, not great. It's been over, can you believe it? It's been over 10 years. Boker Tov. Good morning. Salam alaikum. That is Arabic, but assalamu alaikum to you too. Alpha Blondie music. I haven't heard of them, Barry. Guys, we got 9 more minutes left and then I'm calling it a night. I can't believe I've made this strange cocktail last this whole time. My bad. I'm sorry. I don't speak a ton of Arabic. I've got assalamu alaikum and shway shway. Strange cocktail. Yes. I had a glass of wine before I started the live. Then I decided that if I poured another glass of wine, it wasn't going to last as long as I wanted it to. I'm so sorry. Oh, so rude. So rude. So this is wine mixed with cherry seltzer water and some vanilla sugar-free syrup. I'm so glad, Pass, but do you take a nap during the day? Are you telling me that you wake up at 4:45 in the morning and then like stay up until whenever? How much do you sleep? I couldn't do that. Good. Oh my gosh, good. Now I feel a lot better. If I'm up late, I have to take a nap too. When you were a kid, you drank the consecrated wine, all of it during your communion, like just chugged it out of the cup. I grew up in a Protestant congregation, so we were always grape juice people. I didn't drink until I was 23. The priest told you had a bright future ahead of you. Well, I mean, you did consume a lot of the sacraments, so it's probably more is probably better than less, right? The Vulcan salute from Mr. Spock symbolizes the Hebrew letter Sheen, the first letter in the word Shaddai, meaning Lord. Interesting. I'm just thinking, like, why wouldn't it be? So a Sheen has 3 posts. So why wouldn't it be 3 posts? Oh, maybe because it's like this? That would make sense. Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing, Cat in the Box. 6 more minutes. Does anyone have any burning questions that they need to know the answer to right now? I didn't plan on being here for 2 hours. But what's better than talking to yourself for 2 hours? Buttercup, I was not raised Catholic, but I can see how that would be the point. I experienced similar, because of my literal thinking. Oh, now we've got Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy references. The nerds are out, people. But I'm a nerd because I know what it is anyway, so 30 people still on this live stream. Amazing. Most people have gone to bed, I think. If you weren't here before, nerds in the house. If you weren't here before, my next Etsy hat drop, here's a preview. It's going to be on Friday the 13th in the evening. Religion and autism, it can be an interesting topic. I'm an atheist, and that's very rare here. That's why teachers bully me. I'm sorry to hear that they bullied you. I've found, I don't know if you feel this way, that autistic people believe a whole wealth of things, but whatever they believe, it's like they staunchly believe that because there's the lack of flexible thinking. It's taken me a long time in my life to become more flexible in my thinking. Was Leonard Nimoy on the spectrum? I don't know. I'm always very careful with Spock is definitely spectrum coded, but I'm careful to assume anything about somebody I don't know directly. Bye, Michelle. I'm leaving too in a few minutes. You guys have I'm tired. It's only an hour before my bedtime, but it's been getting dark earlier, because of daylight savings and everything. I'm feeling tired earlier. ADHD. ADHD. I only have a few more sips of my drink left. Lee, thank you. I'm so kind to everyone. I don't think that that's necessarily always the truth. I'm not a perfect person, but I really try to be kind. I think I want people to be kind to me, so I'm kind to other people. I think it's easy to what do they say? Like autistic traits are human traits. So it can be easy to attribute autism to a lot of people's behaviors. We just have to be careful because, I'm not a diagnostician. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not, what I will say is that usually autism sees autism, birds of a feather flock together. One more minute and then I'm going to bed. This is the ASMR segment of my live stream. Thanks, Pass. I'm glad that you feel that way. I like it to be a safe place. Listen, I can't make any guarantees, right? I can't make any guarantees because the internet is not a safe place, right? It's open to everybody, and I want to keep it that way. But I try my best. And I'm really hoping that your assessment goes well this week, Pass. Yeah, I saw a meme this week. I sent it to a friend. It was basically it was about ADHD. Uh, they were talking the meme was basically about how ADHD people, like, tend to hang out with each other, so if all of your other friends are ADHD, I've got news for you, that kinda thing. Alright, my friends, well, I hope that you have a good night. I'm sorry if you feel like I'm cutting it short, if you just got here, but it's been 2 hours, and that's a long time to be on a live, and I'm tired. So I'm just gonna create a boundary and say, "Have a wonderful night. I've had a great time. Thanks, Trina. Thanks, Jax. I hope everyone felt supported and comforted. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys."